Everyone tells you to wait until age 67 or even 70 to claim Social Security. The logic seems obvious. The longer you wait, the more you get each month, and the better off you should be in retirement. But what if I told you that waiting might actually work against you? The reality is that there are personal and financial reasons for why claiming at age 62 could be the smarter move that you make, and ignoring those reasons could cost you far more than income. It could mean less lifestyle flexibility and unnecessary stress. Now, for those of you who don't know me, I'm Sean Stevenson, a certified financial planner and wealth associate at Confluence Financial Partners. And I reviewed hundreds of financial plans to help people understand this exact decision, filing for Social Security at 62 versus 67 versus 70. And what I've heard might surprise you. In today's video, we're going to cover three big things. Why delaying Social Security might not always be the smartest move, but on the flip side, what you can miss out on if you do claim early, like Roth conversion opportunities and ACA subsidies. And most importantly, how to figure out if claiming at 62 actually makes sense for your situation. So let's dive right in. The problem isn't just when to claim Social Security. It's that most people think waiting is always safer. But that belief is often based on simplified assumptions that don't really reflect your real retirement strategy. Most people have heard the message over and over again: wait as long as possible, because every year you delay increases your monthly Social Security check. And that's certainly true. But what that's missing is context. This advice assumes that bigger is always better, and that the increase in income automatically translates to a better lifestyle in retirement. But that's not always how real life works, as you can imagine. This belief has emotional weight. No one wants to feel like they're making a mistake that could cost them for the rest of their lives every single month. So they wait out of fear, not strategy. Fear of getting it wrong, fear of outliving their money. Or maybe it's fear that if they claim too early, it means that they just didn't plan well enough. And this does lead to very real consequences. Missed income that could have been used to ease the drawdown on your investment portfolio early on in retirement. Or missed income in the early years of retirement when you're healthier and more energized. Or just the peace of mind knowing that you're getting back what you invested into Social Security after so many years of working. And then you have retirements that could have potentially started earlier with more flexibility and less financial stress, if only the full picture had been understood. Most people delay Social Security because they believe three key things. First of which is that delaying always gives them more financial security. The assumption here is that more money each month equals more peace of mind, like we had just talked about. But that's really only true if everything else in the plan was already aligned, which in that case, it rarely is. Second is that the higher monthly income automatically means a better retirement. Now, we've already talked about this, but retirement isn't just about the income. It's about the freedom and your flexibility and managing your risks, like taxes and healthcare costs over time. And the third is that claiming early is somehow a sign that they failed to save enough. And there's really like a shame element here, that claiming at age 62 is something you only do if you feel desperate. But in reality, claiming early can be a sign of strategic planning. It all depends on how the rest of your strategy fits together. But what if I told you that each of those beliefs comes with a hidden cost most people don't realize until it's too late? Costs that don't just show up in dollars, but in delayed dreams, added stress, and missed opportunities to retire on your terms. Now, before we flip the switch and move on to what you might miss out on by claiming Social Security early, I appreciate that it can be difficult to know what you should do when it comes to Social Security based on your specific circumstances. You may be wondering, when should I file? Well, as you can imagine, fortunately, I can't address everyone's individual circumstances in this video, but I set up a completely complimentary retirement readiness review process for viewers just like you. All you have to do is click the link in the description and answer a few questions. And within a few days, I'll send you a personalized video walking through your retirement readiness. But I would hurry because I can only offer this to the first 15 people that reach out for requests due to high volume. So let's get back to the video. Now let's start with the idea that delaying Social Security equals more income. And that's not just a tagline, it is a mathematical reality. Each year you delay, claiming between ages 62 and 70, your monthly benefit does grow about 6 to 7% annually until your full retirement age, or FRA, and by 8% each year after that from your full retirement age to age 70. These increases are guaranteed by the government, they're inflation adjusted, and they do last for your entire lifetime. In a world of very uncertain markets and rising longevity costs, that is an incredibly valuable asset you're dealing with. Now, what's the trade-off? Well, you forgo income in your early 60s. Now, to play devil's advocate to my earlier statements in this video, this isn't just about today's cash flow. It's about securing a larger, more reliable income stream for later on in life, when you're really going to need it most. For many retirees, the real risk isn't claiming too late, it's outliving their money or becoming dependent on market returns as they age. Think of it this way. Delaying Social Security is like buying longevity insurance in a sense. It shifts some of the burden off your portfolio and it creates a higher floor of guaranteed income. especially important for surviving spouses and those in good health. Now, delaying Social Security doesn't just get you a bigger check. It does give you more flexibility in the rest of your retirement plan. So let's say you retire at 63, but you don't claim Social Security until 67. Those gap years, as I like to call them, actually become some of your most powerful planning years. You're likely in your lowest tax bracket, which makes this the perfect time to look at doing Roth conversions at a discount, where you move money from tax-deferred accounts to tax-free ones while your tax rates are relatively low. And if you're not yet drawing on Social Security or taking your RMDs, of course, you do have more control over your modified adjusted gross income, or your MAGI, or MAGI. That also helps you qualify for Affordable Care Act, ACA, health insurance subsidies before age 65, sometimes saving you thousands of dollars per year in premiums. Plus, as a long-term benefit of holding off on claiming benefits, you can reduce your tax drag later on in retirement. When you do start taking Social Security, ideally your Roth balances will be larger and you can draw on those later on in retirement, and that income is not going to count as taxable income, which helps you reduce how much of your Social Security benefit is taxed, assuming that you're taking distributions from your Roth IRAs. In short, although there are very real reasons for claiming Social Security early, delaying Social Security doesn't delay your retirement options. It oftentimes can amplify them. I've seen clients boost their monthly benefits by 30 to 60% simply by delaying from age 62 to age 67 or even 70. That higher lifetime income acts as a buffer, reducing the need to sell investments in a down market and making budgeting far more predictable. More importantly, it brings a peace of mind. Clients tell me that knowing that they have a larger inflation-adjusted check coming every month, no matter what the market does, kind of helps them enjoy retirement more, even if they did have to wait a few extra years to start seeing that check in their mailbox. And from a legacy perspective, it can also protect your spouse. If you're the higher earner and you delay, your surviving spouse may receive your higher benefits for their lifetime if you pass on first. And that decision alone can make a meaningful difference in the long-term financial security of your plan as a couple. So yes, delaying Social Security takes patience and a willingness to look long-term, but the payoff can be long-term stability, tax flexibility, and higher confidence that your money is going to last as long as you do. So how do you know if claiming at age 62 is the right move for you, or maybe a mistake? And how do you structure your plan so that it works with Social Security rather than against it? Well, that's where we shift from theory to planning. Well, the truth is, the right age to claim Social Security isn't just about the size of the check like we talked about. It's about what gives you the most control and security across your entire retirement plan. What you really want is confidence, not just in how much you're going to be getting every month, but how your income, your taxes, and your health coverage kind of all fit together, because that's what's going to drive your peace of mind. That's why I use what's called the contextual claiming strategy. It's not a rule of thumb. It's not about beating the system. It's a process that looks at all your moving parts, your income, your taxes, your healthcare, the lifestyle you want to lead, and it helps you decide whether or not 62, 67, or even 70 makes sense based on your specific situation. Now, once you understand that the right claiming age isn't just about the size of the benefit, but about how it fits into your broader plan, you naturally start to wonder, well, what does a smart claiming age actually look like then? Because it's one thing to say, make it part of the plan, but what does that actually mean in real terms? What are you supposed to be calculating, testing, or comparing? That's what I'm going to walk you through right now, the actual process that we use to help clients decide if age 62 is not only okay, but optimal for their retirement picture. And we do that by starting to project your income needs from now through the rest of your retirement. We look at things like your current expenses, your anticipated inflation rate, and how your spending might shift over time. And as you can see here with our fictional clients, Carl and Connie Confluence, they have a very reasonable retirement spend of about $80,000 per year, and they want to retire well before age 65, which now involves funding private or marketplace health insurance, and the decision of whether to claim Social Security earlier or later in their plan. Next, we map out your guaranteed income sources, things like Social Security, like we talked about, pensions, or even royalties, and we see how those stack up against your spending. We then analyze your tax situation. Can we use the years between retirement and age 73, when your RMDs will kick in, to do Roth conversions? This is a critical window where paying taxes on those conversions might be at a lower rate when Social Security and RMDs kick you into a higher tax bracket potentially. See, all this is just to show you that it's not really enough just to look at your Social Security in isolation. Retirement planning is really interconnected. By aligning your claiming strategy and your claiming decisions with your overall financial picture, you avoid silos, you reduce your overall risk, and you give yourself flexibility, and you gain clarity. I've had clients who were dead set on claiming at age 62 because they wanted to get their check from what they paid into all their lives, until we modeled out their future tax brackets later on in retirement. They saw how delaying their claiming age by just a few years, combined with some strategic Roth conversions, saved them thousands of dollars over the next 2 decades. This kind of clarity takes the fear and second guessing out of one of the most permanent retirement decisions you'll make. Because when you make the decision in context, you're not just choosing when to start a check, you're choosing how to take control of your overall retirement. This brings us to the end of this video on claiming Social Security at age 62. You've learned that it might actually make more sense to claim early in certain situations, but also that if you do that, you might be giving up certain opportunities, such as Roth conversions or capturing ACA subsidies, and the key trade-offs that you'll want to consider before making the decision. But understanding when to claim is only really one part of your overall equation. Because even if you claim at the perfect age, it won't matter if the rest of your retirement plan, your taxes, your income and spending isn't aligned with that decision. So if you want to see how your Social Security decision might fit into your full retirement picture, click the link in the description to receive a custom video from me on your retirement readiness. I appreciate you watching, and as always, great days ahead.